All right, what is going on today? So, before I jump into what this video is going to be about, please let me introduce myself. My name is Mark, and since I was a little kid, I really struggled with my mental health, and because of that, I really wanted to make this, YouTube channel and podcast to remind other people that no matter what they are going through, they're not alone, and neither are you. And so if you're brand new to this type of content, then please, I ask that, you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I release content like this. And then hopefully it can have an impact on the way that you kind of carve your life into a better direction, if that's something that you're looking to do. And if you're not new to this and you have been following this journey, then thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You are the reason I make videos like this. And I really hope that it continues to bring you value and improve your life in maybe the ways that you weren't thinking about before, or just brings you a new perspective. So without further ado, I won't talk too much more in this, introduction. Let's jump right into this video. And if you prefer to listen to it in a podcast style while you're driving, working out, cooking your food, or stretching, or whatever you do during your day, then you can listen to it as a podcast as well. It's available on all podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, etc. So you can go and check that out if you don't like watching these videos and seeing this beautiful backdrop, my little action figures, and me. So check it out, and I hope this brings you a new perspective. But let's jump into it right now. What I wanted to talk a little bit about today is difficult conversations. And though they are pretty self-explanatory, a difficult conversation is one that's difficult to have. And that may be for multiple reasons. Maybe it's something that you don't really want to bring up. Maybe it's because you're afraid of hurting someone else's feelings. Maybe you're afraid of, maybe being perceived as stepping out of your own authority. Maybe you're reaching out to someone who is a higher position than you. Maybe you're reaching out to a friend or a family member, whatever it is. All of us are faced with difficult conversations to have, and it can be really tough. But what I've found is the difficult conversations are typically the most important ones to have as well. So I'm going to start this off with basically just telling a story. And the other day, I ended up meeting up with a friend of mine who I haven't seen in quite a while. We've been friends since we were probably 13, 14 years old. We met in high school, and, we're both 25 years old now. So, that's like over a decade we've known each other. We played sports together like rugby, and we know each other pretty well. And one thing that he brought up the other day was a scenario a while back where I had said something to him that didn't resonate well. It hurt his feelings, and it also painted my character in a type of way that I wasn't too happy about either. And so he brought this up because he needed closure for himself, but he also, I can only assume that he wanted to bring it up to help me grow and develop as well. And he basically brought up a time where I had said something and acted in a way that didn't seem consistent with the way that both of us thought I should be acting or behaving. And it was really difficult for him to say. I could tell by the way that he brought it up. He said, "Hey man, I got to talk to you about something that you said to me a while back." And I could instantly feel a sort of heaviness to his voice and tone. And when he brought this up, it made me embarrassed, and it made me feel guilty. And it did hurt my feelings. It wasn't him hurting my feelings. It was my past self hurting my current self. Like, I was kind of ashamed of who I was. Needless to say, I kind of told him, I said, it does make me feel really bad. I do really feel, guilty for what I did, what I said. And he basically said to me, I didn't bring this up to make you feel bad. I didn't bring this up to make you feel guilty either. What he did want to say was something that I needed to hear, even though it was difficult for me and for him as well. And so I told him it was really brave of him, and I appreciated that he opened up, and it alarmed me to some work that I need to do in my personal life, because sometimes I tend to not treat my friends or family members the way I want to treat them, especially when I'm, feeling low or feeling down. And I wanted to thank him for reaching out to me and saying something like that, because even though it did hurt in the moment, I came home and I kind of wrote about it in my journal, dear diary, whatever you want to say. Go ahead and make fun of me. But it was something that really opened my eyes. And what I said to him was exactly what I'm saying to you right now, is sometimes the most difficult conversations that we have are sometimes the most important ones as well. And this story kind of illustrates, what I'm trying to talk about perfectly, because this can translate into your relationships, whether that be with your partner or any loved ones. It could be a friend or a family member as well. Because these social support groups are so important, I think that it's key, because if you don't have these conversations, it can lead to a lot of resentment or pent-up feelings. And it'll also lead to, the lack of development for the people that need to hear these conversations the most. So I don't know how else I can drive this point home. I basically just did my very best with it right now. But just remember that, even though these difficult conversations are really hard to have, and a lot of the times they're just super hard to start. And you can really tell the reactions of someone, if they're open to hearing this kind of constructive criticism. It's not like it was an attack on me or my character. He just wanted to let me know how I had hurt him and how that could help me grow and develop. And so maybe you're thinking about right now a difficult conversation that you need to have with a loved one, or with someone that you work with, or maybe a boss, a coworker, whatever it is. But just understand that, the hardest part is really just starting that conversation sometimes. And you can tell by, like I said, the reaction of these people, if they're wanting to develop, if they're wanting to change, or if they're just going to be stuck in their ways. And sometimes that's going to be the case. At the very end of the day, all you can really do is look back and think, well, I did my very best to try and rectify the situation. If you've had one of these conversations and it didn't turn out the way you wanted, I think it's important that you speak the truth that you know to be true. And if someone has kind of made you feel a certain way, or even if you just want to just change a situation up, I think it's important to have these types of conversations, to have the bravery and courage within yourself to spark up a conversation like this, because it is very hard. And that's why we call them difficult conversations. But I think that you'll see a lot of growth in yourself and development in yourself, but also from those around you as well when you have these types of conversations. So whether it's, a suggestion for a friend or just reaching out for help, these conversations need to be had. And I think that you'll feel a lot of pressure come off your shoulders once you start this conversation, if you do the very best that you possibly can to think about exactly what it is you need to get across and the outcome that you're looking for. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. It's going to be a pretty short episode. If you do know somebody that has, some difficult conversations to have with someone else, you can share this with them. I hope that this helps. But if you have any techniques or ideas that, could help someone else start a conversation like this or help it go smoothly, then please comment them below or reach out to me on social media and let me know what those are, so I can help out other people and you can help me, have these conversations with other people in the future. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you go out and have the best day you possibly can. Kill your week. Have a good month, a good year, and a good life. Thank you so much, and peace out.